What's going on YouTube? Manifest Mitchell here with another video about how to manifest and attract into your life all of the things that you want. Talking today about how to save more money at the end of the month. The main idea here being that you want to have money at the end of the month rather than month at the end of the money. A simple formula explains whether or not you'll have money left over at the end of the month, which is your income minus your expenses equals your money left over. Essentially, if your income is bigger than your expenses, then you will have money left over, and if your expenses are bigger than your income, you will be in debt or not have any money left over. So there's two main ways to save money. That's going to be increase your income or decrease your expenses. Let's first talk about increasing your income. So many ways you can do this. The first being find a side hustle in addition to your normal job. There are so many things you can do as a side hustle to increase your income. One of the most common, working in the restaurant or hospitality industry. You could easily make an extra grand or $1,500 a month just working a couple nights a week at a nice restaurant or high-end hotel or something like that. The nice thing about a lot of the restaurant jobs is you leave with cash at the end of the night. There's no lingering responsibility or things you have to take care of after work, and there are very few expenses to get started up, only your shoes and your uniform. Something that a lot of people don't think of is even delivering food or pizza. Anything like Uber or Lyft gives you the flexibility to make your own schedule, and also you get paid whenever you're done driving. You can make tons of money just working a couple of nights a week doing this. Another thing you can do to increase your income, find a better job. Ask yourself, what can I legally and professionally do with my current education, and would higher education like going to college or trade school help me make more money in my field? Another way to increase your income, start your own business. Ask yourself, how can my business add value to other people's lives and serve them? And you could even go the broker route where you're figuring out who has something and who else needs something and flipping that around for a profit. One of the best ways to increase your income for the long term is to invest for passive income returns. So many ways you can do this. Investing in the stock market, even $100 or $200 or $300 a month extra, is going to grow over time exponentially with compounding interest. Typically, we see about a 10% return on a given year in the stock market. So that means about every 7 years your money will double for you. If you have enough cash laying around, you can certainly invest into real estate or rental property where a property is cash flowing for you, and you're going to also get appreciation over time in the value of that property. You could even look into short-term lending and borrowing where people borrow your money and you charge them an interest rate. One last little way to increase your income, something that I actually personally do on a regular basis, is hustling and leveraging credit cards. I'm gonna make another video about this, but to make it short and sweet, you can use cashback or miles percentages as well as sign-up bonuses to basically earn free money just by swiping a card rather than paying in cash or on a debit card. Just as important as increasing your income is reducing your expenses. It's really easy to save money. Even if you don't make that much money, but you cut your expenses to the bare minimum, you will have money left over. A lot of times people inflate their lifestyle when they get a raise, or just have an overinflated lifestyle in general where they're spending outside of their means more than they can afford, and they have no money left over at the end of the month. First way to reduce your expenses is, if you are in debt, get out of debt. How in the world are you going to have money left over at the end of the month if all you're doing is paying out the people that you owe money to on a monthly payments? My advice is to follow Dave Ramsey's debt snowball, where you list your debts smallest to largest, make minimum payments on everything except for the small one, and take all of the extra money that you have and throw it at the small one until that debt goes away, and then you move to the next smallest debt on the list, knock that one out, and just keep moving up till all of your debt is gone. The best way to reduce your expenses is to figure out what you're spending your money on, as in build a budget. Your basic needs for survival are going to be food, and I mean shopping at the grocery store and cooking at home, not going to restaurants or getting takeout, because restaurants and food establishments have to pay their employees, they have to keep their lights on, they have to pay for their property, and they have to also make a profit on what they're selling, which means that the food that they are selling is extremely overpriced in comparison to the cost per calorie that it takes to survive. The The other basic needs are water, shelter, utilities, and transportation. The next part of your budget should be your necessary expenses that are not for your survival, but things that you have to pay for, such as car and health insurance. If you have children, maybe childcare. If you have a medical condition, that might be prescriptions or things like that. You also might want to think about starting a sinking fund for recurring expenses that don't happen every month. For example, I buy contact lenses every 6 months to a year. The way that my sinking fund works is that I budget out how much those contacts are going to cost me for the entire year, and then I divide that by 12 for each month and set aside however much money that is, just to know that when I need to buy contacts again, it's not going to be a huge expense. I'll have already consistently saved up for that. Other examples of things that might be in your sinking fund: car maintenance, like tires or general wear and tears that happen to your vehicle. You might want to think about setting aside money every single month to cover those when the expenses do pop up. The last thing in your budget, depending on where you are financially, especially if you're debt-free and are maybe investing and have a home or something like that, is budget yourself some money to enjoy your life. You don't want to burn yourself out with just saving and paying for all these things and just completely burn out and not have any fun. Whatever number you budget out for yourself and your significant other or family and friends to just have fun with, you might also consider setting some of that money aside to save up for a vacation should you choose to do that throughout the year. Another great way to reduce your expenses is to not buy shit you don't need. Unnecessary expenses include eating out, which I described earlier, any kind of cable or entertainment subscription services, going out of town for a long weekend or renting hotel rooms, taking little vacations like that. You might also consider downsizing your car, apartment, or house, just because you might have too much space that you actually don't need. You might be driving a car that is too expensive and you can go with something much cheaper. You could also downsize your phone or computer if you're simply just browsing the web or using your phone for calls and texts. You can certainly save a lot of money on your phone plan, your data with your internet, or even just the total cost of, for example, an iPhone versus just a simple flip phone. The thing that I do every single time I spend any money on anything, I ask myself, do I absolutely need this to survive? If the answer is no, what kind of value is this going to add to my life or others around me? And then where could this money be spent or saved elsewhere that's going to be better for my financial picture long term? Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Definitely let me know in the comments below, what's in your budget? How have you increased your income? How have you learned to enjoy your money at a reasonable rate that is still going to help you increase your net worth and do well financially long term? I'll catch you on the next video, y'all. Keep attracting and manifesting all of those things that you want into your life.